Oftentimes, small businesses have to use non traditional ways to fund their businesses. This technique is often described as bootstrapping because they have to gather their own resources and connections on their own to be able to come up with ways to fund their business. Two popular ways of bootstrapping would include crowdfunding and crowdsourcing. Crowdfunding is basically gaining money from the public to fund your business. Oftentimes, in underprivileged communities, we see this them gathering small amounts of money to be able to invest into their business. Crowdsourcing is something that you see in America a lot of times, also other places around the world, but it's when you're gaining basically resources and a skill set as well as funds from usually an angel investor to kind of run your business. As we spoke about in class with Kiva, they use crowdfunding to bring in a lot of the money and the loans for their business. Kiva loans people money from around the world and uses partners to issue them. Their nonprofit has enabled them to fund more than $1.3 billion in loans. It started in 2005 and has partners with financial institutions throughout the world. It transfers where it basically just transfers the crowdfunding money. So, for example, if someone were to use their services, when they pay the money back, that would go to someone else. It kind of just keeps going in a circuitous motion. Um, Other companies kind of, oh yeah, Kiva has also done 9.68% repayment rate, which means that of all the people that borrow the money, 96.8% of people pay it back, which is really good, being that it's operating in over 78 different countries that have that high of a repayment rate. Another company that is kind of like Kiva and works in small rural communities is Zidisha, I think it's pronounced. Um, is Zidisha is that word comes from the Swahili, which means to grow, but it's a direct person-to-person micro lending services that focuses on entrepreneurship and the job creation. Uh, Unlike Kiva, it doesn't loan through financial institutions, but facilitates direct lending between people. So, like me, would be lending directly to a person. Zidisha's loans total more than 16 million and has financed over 240,000 projects. Oftentimes, with these loans, you don't see huge sums of money. They typically range between 1,000 and 3,000, or 500 and $3,000. So that's how they're be able to get so many loans. And one last other company that's kind of like Kiva is the Women's Microfinance Initiative, abbreviated WMI. Began issuing loans in 2008, and it basically aims to train local women in managing loan hubs. So, kind of like the community banks with Global Brigades, they're kind of trying to have the people take over. They're trying to set it up, but allow them to take over and keep it going. So they want to be able to educate these women so they can do the loan hubs themselves. The WMI has loaned more than $4.5 million to rural women in amounts of 100 to $250. So their ranges are very small. As you can see, it only goes up to $250 the amount of loan you can get, and it has a 10% interest rate. So as you can see, a lot of these loans often have pretty high interest rates, but it's a lot better than going to like a loan shark or something like that in these communities. And 98% of prepayment rate for the WMI loan. So it just shows that these women are really invested and really trying to get their businesses off the ground. So those are the different crowdfunding and crowdsourcing techniques that can be utilized for small businesses and some companies that have kind of paved the way in this field.